Griggy, nice to see you again. How's your summer been?
Yeah, nice to see you too. Yeah, I had a really good summer, thanks. It's nice to sort of mentally and physically just switch off. Obviously, sort of 10 months of really hard work and not much downtime to finally get a little bit of a break after a good season was something nice to be able to do.
Yeah, looking back on last season then before we start talking about next season, sort of reflecting now, has it finally sunk in?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, when it first sort of happens, it's all, you know, the emotions are high and the celebrations, it's something really special. But like I said, as soon as the season sort of dies down and you can sort of settle, reflect on things and spend some time with your family, that's when it all sort of, you know, gets put into perspective. And yeah, a brilliant season that we're all really proud of. But I think it's just, you know, it's important we see that as a little step in towards that end goal.
What was sort of, looking back, the favourite moment of last season for you personally?
It was a tough one for me because obviously, you know, Bron at home was probably the highlight in terms of that was the moment we were officially promoted. But I sort of enjoyed that from the stand, which isn't quite the same as being a player. So, you know, there's loads of moments. Obviously, the FA Cup win against Portsmouth, that was the FA Cup, wasn't it? Yeah, obviously a great run in that. Some great league victories. I think Barnet away was probably, I think we've spoken about it before, that was probably the first moment where you think we've potentially done it. So yeah, there's just loads of great memories, to be honest, throughout the whole season. Yeah,
you boys sort of last year, you would never let on, would you, that you were looking at the table? But if you're being honest, when did you start to really look at the table and think, we've won it? And then was it hard to keep motivated in a way, or was it quite easy to keep yourself motivated after that Barnet game?
Yeah, I think I've probably spent too much time with the gaffer, to be honest, because I genuinely am, you know, I looked at the league table on a daily basis, but I genuinely was just looking at that next game. And I think he was, you know, he's so often just instilled that in us that the next game is the most important and not to get carried away. So that's probably, I think in the season it's a good thing for the players, and especially me. It's just nice to concentrate. But you know, I think to be that many points ahead at Christmas, it's, you know, it's something really special and that's rarely done. But yeah, I think there's probably the specific moment was after Barnet. I think it was such a convincing win as well. I think it was only 2-0, but it was so comfortable and could have been 4 or 5. And then even sort of, you know, Boreham Wood, that was obviously the icing on the cake. And then after that, it's tough mentally. You know, it just shows if you're 10% off it, you can't do that. And I think that almost, you know, puts credit on the rest of the season, that our standards were so high throughout the season. We didn't really have a blip at all, and you know, that sort of highlighted towards the end of the season. But you know, that wasn't something we were going to concentrate on. We had such an unbelievable year that was what we have our memories of.
I imagine as well, because obviously the season was so successful and you were sort of so in it at the time, it has been nice to spend some time with family.
Definitely, yeah. It's great to spend time with the family. You know, they sort of put everything in perspective for you, and it's such a great time. Like I said, you work so hard and have such little downtime with the family and be able to switch off. I think some players probably can, but me personally, I'm constantly thinking about the next session, the next game, and it's difficult. But yeah, the family are great. We had some good time together over the summer, and now it's back to that hard work. But yeah, like you said, throughout the season, you're just concentrating on that one goal, and it's really difficult to sort of take everything in. I think as I'm getting a little bit older, I look back at my international career and the great places I've been, and you know, I've been to these brilliant places, but not necessarily taken it in or appreciated it till I've been taken out of it, and then you look back. So I think at the moment I'm sort of being able to take things in a little bit more at the time and in the moment. But you know, it's probably taken me 15 years of a playing career to be able to do that, so it is tough.
You've been doing a little bit of punditry as well. How have you been finding that?
Yeah, obviously did the National League final at Wembley, which was incredible. TNT were great with me, gave me the opportunity, and yeah, it was something I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed. A great day with some good people, and obviously the game was exciting as well. Yeah, I've been there twice as a player and lost, so it was nice to sort of be on the other side of it and being able to actually enjoy the game and enjoy the atmosphere. So yeah, that was really good fun.
Has that sort of maybe changed how you feel about post-career? Is punditry maybe now something you would consider after? Is it something you would get into? I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, it's a great sort of avenue. I think it's so tough to get involved in and get into that, you know, you either have to have a great career, or there's certain degrees that the PFA can do to help you into that. But it's definitely something I really enjoyed. I love football. My knowledge throughout the leagues, the Premier League down to National League is quite good. I like to think, just because, like I said, I genuinely love football, everything about it. I spend my whole week, football, no matter what level it is, I'll watch it, I'll read about it. So yeah, football is something that I love, and being able to watch a game and comment on it is something incredible. So yeah, it's not necessarily something that I've thought about now, because I'm a player and hopefully got a lot of years left to give. But yeah, it's definitely something interesting to look into.
Absolutely. On to next season then. How are you feeling about it? Sort of pre-season's creeping up on us, isn't it? We're not too far away from that now, so you're looking forward to it?
Yeah, if you'd asked me about 2 hours ago, I was desperate to get back to it, but I've just done a running session and I've had enough already. I'm worn out. But no, it's I think I said it before, you have sort of 2 weeks off from the season and you're desperate to get back in. The lads have been texting in the chats, and we're desperate to get back, desperate to get back in for pre-season, maybe get pre-season out of the way, and then just get that first game really. But for me personally, yeah, it's great to just be back in the building. Great to see a few staff members and be back out on the grass.
How hard or maybe easy is it going to be to sort of continue the momentum from last year and the motivation and go again and potentially try and get promoted again?
It's difficult. I think the one thing that we can and that we will try and do is, I think a lot of people make mistakes when they move up a league, and I've been in groups that do that, where you make 10 changes and like you said, that whole momentum and that camaraderie from the season before just disappears. But I don't. That's not something the gaffer's going to do. We built a good squad in the National League to be competitive and take us through the league. So of course you need 5 or 6 additions to strengthen. I think any good team that climbs up the league does that. But we've got such a good group here on and off the pitch that have made such an impact that it'll be easy to we know what the players expect and what players need and what certain players do certain things. So from that aspect of it, it'll be good to just be able to go into the new season, everyone knowing each other. But on the other hand, it's a completely different league. The challenges we'll face will be completely different, and there'll probably be a few more low moments throughout the season that we'll have to bounce back from, just because of the quality of the other teams. But it's something that we have to look forward to, and something that no doubt we'll be ready for.
Well, speaking of the new lads that we've signed so far, what have you made of the signings you've made so far? Is there any in particular that stand out? Any that you sort of maybe know?
Yeah, obviously the signings have been brilliant. I think as players, you're excited to see who's going to come into the club, and you want those players to be good and make an impact. And I think every single one of them does that on paper. So it's our responsibility now to get the best out of them. But yeah, it's nice to be on the same team as Paddy Madden. Obviously, we've spent years, challenging for the golden boots and top goal scorers in League One. So it was nice to we actually text each other. We don't know each other loads, but obviously playing against each other. And I sent him a little text saying, it'd be nice to actually be on the same team rather than fighting against each other. And Shay Dunkley, obviously, I know from my Wigan days. I was a bit gutted to be spending a bit more time with him because he's a bit annoying. No, he's a great lad. I was actually on a coaching course with him last week, so yeah, I'll take a bit of credit for that signing as well. But no, he's a great lad, and like you said, brings so much experience to the group, and will make a massive difference. And the other boys likewise. Yeah, talking of Paddy Madden, then, is it an exciting prospect for you to be playing with him? And, like you said, you have spent a lot of time battling with him. I think it's sometimes easy, isn't it, for people to assume that another striker comes in and maybe you're going to be threatened by that. But I imagine for you, you're actually quite excited about the prospect of playing with him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think competition in any place is amazing, and it's not the case of one of us can play at any time. I think there's obviously a potential for us to both be on the pitch at the same time, whether that's a 9 and a 10 or 2 9s, whatever that may be. So yeah, it's another bit of quality and experience into this group, and if that can help take this group forward, then that's a massive positive for me. And one thing that we did go back to every game we won last year was the fact that the competition for places was what was keeping the players motivated to train hard. So I guess it's another reason for you and the other attacking lads to train hard. Yeah, exactly. I've spoken about the gaffer before. He's incredible, the work that he does to create competition and create such a group in this environment. It's not just 11 players. No player gets through a season with 11 players. So to have that quality on the bench and in the squad, and to keep those standards on day in, day out is really important. So yeah, it's competition, like you said, is amazing. And there might be injuries, there might be dips in form, and if we need players to be ready to come in and fill that void, so it's something that's good for the club. Is there any game next year that stands out to you, a team we're going to come up against that maybe stands out straight away in your head? Yeah, probably MK Dons for me personally. Obviously, I've been at the club before, and I think the way they missed out in the playoffs will be hurting them. So they'll have a little point to prove, and I know a lot of people at the club, the owners and the people behind the scenes, that will be doing everything they can to make sure they get promoted this year. So I think on paper it's going to be a big game, and for me personally, that'll be one that I'll love to go back to Stadium MK and see what we've got and try and give everything we can. And then another one, probably Walsall. I came up through Walsall. I was there from 16 to 21, 22. So that's another one that I'll be really looking forward to. Not been back for a while, so yeah, it'll be nice to see some old faces and play at the stadium again.
Yeah, on our supporters there, I think there's over 5,200 season tickets sold now, which I think when we last spoke it was just hit 5,000, so another 200 since then. So the prospect of playing in front of that many supporters at a club like Chesterfield must be a pretty special feeling. Yeah,
I mean, it's incredible. Like we said, we spoke about it before, the support's been unbelievable last season, and it's just continued this year. I think to have that many season tickets is ridiculous at this level, to be honest. That'll be more than teams get week in, week out, and we've got that just in season tickets. So it's massive for us. It's we really appreciate the support. It's not just us saying it. I know you get a lot of players just saying thanks for the support. That's been great, but genuinely, I think you saw it last year. The bond between the players and the fans has been incredible. So to hear those sort of figures at this point in the season is amazing. So thanks for that.
Yeah, another couple of things worth noting as well is obviously the new floodlights have been put in, the pitch has been relayed, there's been some stuff at the training ground going on, the training rooms had a little bit of stuff done, so the facilities around the club are only getting better. As a player and players, does that excite you? Does it sort of help motivate you coming to work every day? I know that the dugouts are being done, so for the players that are on a bench on a match day, there's going to be racing seats and stuff like that. So does that sort of, again, those sort of facilities, it upgraded, does that excite you as a player?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, I've been coming in the off-season just to do a bit of work and keep my fitness up and make sure I'm ready to go. And I came in sort of 2 weeks ago and saw some of those changes. You can see the floodlights and all the work going onto the pitch and around, like you said, the dugouts straight away. And I think it's massive for the club. We've spoken about how good the foundation is at the club, and we're making little steps to progress, and that's on the pitch and off the pitch as well. So it's one of those things, some players might not even notice it, but I think it's important that as a club it's just the standards, and I think it's just a little reminder and a tick in a box that this club's moving forward and getting back to where it wants to be. So if your standards aren't there as a player, it's a journey that you should want to be involved in and want to be part of. So it's just a little reminder to keep those standards on the pitch and yourself off the pitch to make sure you continue to be part of that journey, and that's something that I definitely want to do.
One thing that supporters will be really keen on knowing is how's the hamstring coming on, how's the injury?
Yeah, no, like I just said, I've been working hard over the summer, so yeah, everything's good. We're back in a couple of weeks, and yeah, I'll be ready to go. I'm not an injured player anymore. I'm fit and just a normal squad member. So yeah, all good. It's been a hard summer, not much time off, but it's what I love and what I want to do. So I've put in a lot of work to make sure I'm ready.
Well, just finally from me, what are your goals for next year then, personally and obviously as a team?
Yeah, the team goal is obviously, we want to be as successful as we can. It's going to be a really tough season. There's some big clubs with big histories in the division, so it's going to be really tough, but we'll give everything we can to try and get these fans cheering and be successful as possible. And for me personally, just as many goals as possible. Stand in the 6-yard box, get a few tap-ins. No, just really looking forward to it.
Score a screamer this year.
Yeah, screamer, yeah. Maybe if I score outside the box, yeah, I think maybe one last year for York at home, but that was a bit of a strange goal for me. So yeah, we'll see. I just want to continue to help this group on and off the pitch. I think obviously with my experience off the pitch and then on the pitch, I'll do as much as I can to help the team.